What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Anytime Anywhere podcast, where you're liable to hear anything at any given time. I am your host, Jaleesa Kayla. Today is 11:28. Okay, 11:28 and approximately 8:50 in the a.m. So if you're listening to this early in the morning, shout out to you. But regardless of what time you're listening to it, I appreciate you. Thank you for your likes, your subscribes, your comments, and thank you for hyping this video up if it's an option to you. Thank you to everybody that's returning, and I appreciate you for being curious and stopping through if you're new. Like I said, today is Friday, y'all, and I'm just so TGI Friday. TGIF. How many of y'all, and you gotta be a part of a certain group of people. Okay, I know I may not be talking to a large group of you, but how many of you remember when we were younger and TGI Friday was a thing that came, I think it was ABC? I think on ABC, 77 on the back of this person's Tesla. That's a cute little Tesla. I'm not a huge fan of them. But that's cute. It's cute. But how many of y'all remember, sidebar, how many of y'all remember TGI Friday being a thing on TV on Fridays, and they would play like Family Matters, like new episodes of Full House, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Who else used to come on? Like, it was a few different shows that used to come on, and it would just make your Friday pop. Like, now I was a teeny tot. Like, I didn't have nowhere to be. I didn't have anything to do. I wasn't worried about it being Friday and needing to just let loose and release for Friday. But I was just so happy for Friday evenings. Like, that's when my great grandma was still around. I love you, great grandma. Shout out to all the great grandmoms and grandmoms, y'all. Yesterday was Thanksgiving, right? Or what they consider to be Thanksgiving. Sorry, I'm trying to get this shit off. What is this on my face? All I want to see on my face is glitter and fineness and gloss. Sorry, I'm looking at my reflection. But yesterday was, what they consider to be Thanksgiving. Shout out to you if you got in the kitchen and threw down. I know my sister did, and although I don't really celebrate the holidays anymore, she was like, "Sissy, just take a plate," and I'm like, no, because I don't want to be eating, anything in connection to that, or to give off the notion that I'm celebrating, or listen, for us richly melanated Americans who understand, I've just read something about like spiritual integrity and just overall integrity. That's a big thing for me personally, and it's like, do what you say and say what you're gonna do. And I don't want to be cutting no corners. If I say I'm not celebrating, then I shouldn't be partaking in any way, right? Even if it is food. But she was like, just look at it as if you had to eat dinner anyway. So I was like, okay, like, I know she really wanted me to eat her food, because my sissy, one thing she gonna do is throw down, okay? Like, we come from a family that does know how to cook, and that's all I was saying. I miss my great grandma. She was definitely someone who would throw down in the kitchen, very traditional in her cooking. But now that, and I didn't appreciate it as much when I was younger. Of course not. Like, we want fun foods and shit when we were kids, but as an adult, it's just some things of hers that I miss, and that I knew was now I know them to be traditional foods, and it's like, damn, I miss that. I wish I had that. I know if I had that grit bowl with the stewed chicken gravy, like homemade fresh chicken, not the chicken that they got out nowadays, like this new chicken, I don't know. But back when she was cooking chicken, that chicken, listen, that she used to make sure that, again, you're gonna be cured of any illness that you may have, or listen, it just felt like home. It was home. I miss her. I love her. I know that she's always with me. But like I said, we come from a family that knows how to cook, throw down. She's Geechee to the bone. She from Georgia, okay, by way of the Carolinas. So listen, food, that's how you're gonna, that's you. Listen, if you can cook, you damn near got me. I like stability. I like nice things. I like peace. I like trips and adventures and all that good shit. I like looking good. I like laughing. And food food. Don't forget the food. Food is top. Okay? Top 2, and it's not number 2. Along with honesty and respect and all that stuff. Of course, like, do we really have to say that? But anyways, like, yesterday was, what they consider Thanksgiving, and I saw someone post them recording their grandmother making her dressing, her homemade dressing recipe. Listen, that is like, that touched me, and I started to get teary-eyed, because I was just telling y'all about my great-grandmother who was on my mother's side, but my grandmother on my father's side, now don't get it confused. Initially, I was telling y'all about my great-grandmother on my mother's side, who is Geechee. She is from Georgia, okay? Both my great-grandparents were from Georgia, okay? But on my father's side, my grandma, shout out to you, Grandma Betty. I love you and I miss you just the same. Thanksgiving, like, that was the beauty of having 2 households that you can visit. Like, once I started to get acclimated with my father's side, which didn't take long, and be gifted with their traditions and stuff. Listen, between my grandma and my aunt, which is my dad's sister, older sister, and I know she learned from my grandmom, of course, but my grandmom's dressing, homemade dressing with the chicken pizza, listen, oh, it was the best. And it was so different than what I was used to. Stuffing is one of my favorite things, right? On Thanksgiving, a regular dinner, like, I love stuffing. And I know, like, it's bread and all these different things and corn. Listen, I get it. I love stuffing. I don't know, sue me. You're not gonna win, but do what you need to do. I love stuffing, right? Once I started to celebrate Thanksgiving, when I was a young boy, when I was younger, I would go over to my grandma's house and celebrate the holidays with them as well. So I had 2 different sides to be able to partake in and, just pull culture from and be gifted to experience it. Listen, I had never had dressing before. On my mother's side, we called it stuffing. They made stuffing. Now, they made homemade stuffing, but the consistency was just different from dressing. And now, as an adult, I know the difference. Because initially, the first time I had Thanksgiving over my mother's house, over my grandma's house, I'm like, what the hell is this? I mean, it smells good, but what actually is this? Dressing, you say? And then they was like, oh, it's like stuffing. You're going to like it. You're going to like it. Just try it. I'm like, oh, no. Okay, I was only used to my mama's side cooking. When I tried that, listen, I fell in love. Like, I just wanted my grandma to always make. That was something I looked forward to, right? And I heard a lot of people, not only this year, but over the years of being adult, I want to say over the last, 5 years of being an adult, I started to hear more people just speak about how, some millennials, but more so like Gen X, they're losing their touch when it comes to tradition and cooking and all these things and blah, 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 blah. And then somebody said, well, for a lot of us millennials, our grandparents, helped raise us and take care of us. And Gen X, they just said, fuck it. Like, we throwing up our hands. I ain't here for all that. I'm not doing all that. So it's interesting to see that play out, in different families and just across social media, how a lot of people can relate in that way. But I was gifted to, now I never really got my grandmother's recipe. However, just on a humbug for a regular dinner, I'm going to attempt to make some dressing and I'm getting emotional even now. Like, when you're young, it's sometimes, not all the time, sometimes it is, but for many of us, it's not instilled in you to appreciate what you're seeing, what you're experiencing. Even if some things may be traumatic, there's lessons in everything, there's gifts in everything. And spending time with family and just learning traditions and being amongst the culture, even if you think it's just a regular old day and this is what we always do, something as simple as a dressing recipe won't really be of interest when you're a child. Like, yeah, you'll enjoy it if it tastes good, but you're not thinking like, oh, I need to make sure I stay close to my grandmother's and pick up these recipes and, look to see what actual brands they use and how they mix it, how many times they stir. Do they stir counterclockwise or clockwise? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's magic that goes into cooking. There's so much alchemy, and that's why it's something that I really love, because not only am I being creative, however, like, I can pour everything that I have from my heart and soul into it. And I know that whether I'm making something that's not the healthiest or whether I'm making like a super healthy dish, like, it's coming from my soul, and the intention behind it is always going to be for it to be good, for it to be enjoyable, you know, for it to be a gift to those who try it. Like, I know even when I cook now, I may not have all of their recipes down pat or know. Look at this huge bird, y'all. It's these big ass hawks flying around. They look so majestic. Yeah, like, even when I cook now, I know that I'm channeling them, even without having the full-on recipe. I just, like, oh my gosh, like, I'm just so grateful, y'all. I'm so grateful. And if anything, forget not celebrating the holidays and all that. When it really boils down to it, it's just being grateful and giving thanks for the spirit that I do have, the soul that I do have, the things that were instilled in me that no recipe, you can have the recipe and it still can't mimic, because, like I said, it's a soul thing. So it's unfortunate to those individuals who don't get to experience, you know, the culture that they were raised on, or, you know, it wasn't continued to be passed down. And sometimes the elders too, they're just living life. A lot of them were in survival, so some of them didn't even have the time or the capacity to slow down, to show you a recipe, to instill in you how important it was to keep tradition going, you know. It was just, hopefully you picked up on, you know, what they were doing. You paid attention and you cared enough to want to recreate, to look to them for how they raised you and your siblings and your parents and your grandparents, depending on if, you know, we're talking about great-grandparents or grandparents. Case in point, for me, it was my great-grandparents as well as my grandparents. But yeah, it's just a beautiful thing. I hope you all had a really good holiday. You know, I did. After a while, it was very quiet and peaceful, so I appreciate that, just having some downtime. And I did some, like, reflecting and journaling and some shadow work, so that was good for me. You know, I feel like I'm doing justice for my lineage, but at the same time, it's also for me. You know, all I can do, like I said, is hope and wish, or hope and have faith that they're proud of what I'm doing. And I believe so. You know, even more so for myself, I am proud of myself. Like, the little me, like I said, since my birthday, even before my birthday, but definitely during my birthday and the energy thereafter. Tomorrow makes like about a week ago since it was my birthday, and tomorrow makes an official week since my birthday has passed. And the little girl me is just so proud of the adult me. You know, the things that I'm learning, the things that I'm letting go of and releasing, and the realizations that I'm having, the traditions that I'm creating. Like, I just know I'm gonna be big mama. Like, I'm already big mama. Big mama, big mama. I mean, even without having kids or grandchildren, anything like that, like, I'm big mama for real. You know, I do envision having those Sunday dinners, or, you know, like, I enjoy, listen, cooking saved my life, okay? Amongst other things, I really enjoy cooking. It brings me peace, it brings me joy, it brings me clarity. Like, I enjoy cooking. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. Speaking of tea, this AM I'm having some, and this may not all go together, but this is just what I was feeling, okay? I got some red raspberry leaf, some mugwort, some peppermint, and some dandelion root. So I'm taking a sip of that for some wellness and just to be warm, because I'm out and about, y'all, and it is chilly outside. It's like 41 right now. Wishing I could just zap to Florida. You know, one of my sisters, she lives down there now, and she was on the beach for the holiday. I'm like, yes, one day soon I too will be, you know, Like, what? It's Christmas? Oh, I didn't even know, because it is 80 degrees down here. I couldn't tell. Christmas. I remember one birthday I did go to Florida for my birthday. This was for my best friend's birthday when we used to celebrate together. And we had went to the mall because we still needed stuff. And they had like Christmas decorations. This was like towards the end of November going into December. And they had Christmas decorations up at the mall, y'all. And a freaking blow up Santa Claus in the middle of the mall's parking lot. And I'm like, this looks so weird seeing Christmas decorations and stuff like that in such warm climate. Like, what are y'all really celebrating? I don't know. Just being an up north girl with a down south soul. But being an up north girl, you're just used to the holidays, you know, especially towards the end of the year, coming with cold weather, coming with snow even. Like, I don't know. But yeah, I enjoy cooking. I do enjoy the togetherness of the holidays, and I know a lot of people say, oh, well, that's what matters. But shit, we could have had Thanksgiving today. You know, what was the most important to me was that I did acknowledge my lineage, my ancestors yesterday. Food or no food, like, just acknowledge them and let them know that I'm not 1,000% certain if the take that I'm having on the holidays is correct. However, what I do know is that I don't want to continue to perpetuate the notion that I'm celebrating and for what these holidays initially started out as, because I feel like it is disrespectful to my lineage and to my benevolent ancestors and just the richly melanated Americans anyway that suffered and went through so much. Yeah, it goes deep, y'all. It goes deep. And like I said, I don't do everything right, you know. It's still things that I have to release and let go of and not practice and not partake in. However, you have to start somewhere, right? And I can't keep saying, oh, for the sake of togetherness and for family, that I'm going to continue to perpetuate these rituals, you know, that were placed upon me. Like I said, I do love family. I do love togetherness. I do love cooking. I love sitting around and just being amongst each other, because sometimes the feeling of, oh, we never know when any of our last days is, right? That's something that I continue to feel guilty about when it came to celebrating the holidays, and when I started to feel like, you know, I don't want to partake in this anymore. I don't want to continue to disrespect myself or my lineage or give off the notion to the universe that I'm for what these holidays started out as and, you know, represent. I'm not for it. You know, the more you know, the more you grow. And initially I was feeling guilty, you know, like, damn, I never know when I'll see all of us together again in the same room, you know. And for a long time that caused me to force myself to go. And this year, y'all, I just had to say, no mas, no more. I can't do it anymore, you know. We can gather anytime. We should feel togetherness and want to be around each other anytime. And me and my family have started to develop, you know, different rituals and different times to gather. However, yeah, I just feel like it needs to be implemented more. And because I'm releasing control, only person I can control is myself, my own thoughts and emotions, and the only thing I can do is focus on me. When they're ready, they will do so, if they're ever ready, and I have to respect that, you know what I'm saying? And they also have to respect my choice. So it's a work in progress, you know, but I am proud of me being able to fight the feeling of, oh my gosh, like, this could be the last time, you know, that we're all around each other. We're all moving and growing and doing our own things, and different things are taking place in our life, so you just never know. And I just had to let that go. You know, what will be will be. I just send everybody well wishes, and, you know, for those that do gather, I just send them, you know, the best energy, that everybody has a good time, you know, everybody is merry and bright. And if no other time, during those times when you are with family, it's truly genuinely enjoyable, you know. And I hope the same was for you guys. during Thanksgiving. You know, we still have Christmas coming up, and we have the New Year. Well, the Gregorian New Year. We have that coming up. But I even had like a younger cousin cry because, you know, he was sad that we wouldn't all be together for the holidays. And I was just like, oh, that's the stuff that gets me. Like, it pulls on your heartstrings. But I'm like, listen, as children, it's good for them to, you know, experience early on that we won't always be together. You know, we'll get to talk to each other. Technology is awesome, you know, in that way that it allows for us, even in long distance, to be able to, you know, speak to one another, see one another, and wish each other well, and, you know, just check in, even if we can't be around each other physically. So that was my Thanksgiving. Like I said, I did have some yummy food. I'm not gonna have what my sister, I didn't have what my sister made last night. I ordered out the day before and just had like Thanksgiving-ish type foods, because I already knew, like, yeah, I'm not going nowhere. Like, this ain't that. Like, I'm not doing it again. So I just made sure I secured some food the day before, so I enjoyed that. Like I said, I was alone, which was fine for me. You know, I got to reflect and just enjoy my own time and do some journaling and reflecting and, you know, just give some reverence. Excuse me, y'all, if you can hear that thumping and bumping. But just being able to give reverence to my ancestors and my loved ones, you know, was great for me, and having some time to reflect. And then I had to get up early too. And my family, I love them down, but sometimes they don't know. It's like New York. It's a city that never sleeps. They don't know when it's time to roll. Okay? And I'm someone, as an adult, like, before I used to, again, to something else, I used to take one for the team, stay up super late. And I'm not saying all the time. Like, a lot of times when I was younger, like, yeah, like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I was all for it. We up. We in here. Win the next shindig. Pour another shot. You know, what we doing? We laughing, we joking, we kiki. We kikiing, we doing all of that. But now I've learned, as the adult that I've become and that I'm continuing to fine-tune and grow into, I value my rest, okay? I value my rest. I value my downtime. I value my health, you know. And because I had to get up early today, I needed some rest, okay? Between my birthday weekend and the holidays and having to work and being here, there, everywhere, and having health scares in the family, and, you know, just doing my best not to worry, but to affirm that we're all healthy, we're safe, we're good, we're protected, you know. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's always something if you let it be something, but really it'd be nothing. So I just had to make sure that, you know, in between those times, I'm resting, I'm relaxing. I'm not driving myself crazy about these holidays. What can get paid for? What can't get paid for? Who can afford it? I'm not doing all that. I'm not with all that. Okay? Not with all that. But like I said, as an adult, most importantly, personally, I value my relaxation. I value my downtime. I'm someone who had to learn how to rest. I had to learn how to take a break. I had to learn how to tell myself, it is okay. You do not have to earn rest. You do not have to earn relaxation. It is a part of your birthright. You are worthy of it. You do not have to prove yourself or, you know, feel like you have to earn a nap or earn some downtime or earn some, you know, peace and quiet. Girl, no, that is a necessity. In order for you to be well, that is necessary, okay? And I'm still, you know, implementing that perspective into my life and just really, like, making it 33, making it a part of my life, you know, and not something separate. I'm doing my best not to look at it as a separate concept from what I believe life should look like and how it should feel. Like, no. I'm going to get my rest. This little baby needs downtime. She needs a nap. She needs a nappy and some warm milk. Speaking of warm milk, I was introduced to golden tea milk or something like that. Listen, y'all. The turmeric with the honey and the black pepper and the freaking nutmeg and the cinnamon. Listen, oh my gosh. Talk about holidays, fa la 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 la. Like, I'm someone who really enjoyed, and this is way off topic, but I just wanted to say that bit about the holidays and my own progress. But I'm someone who enjoys a really, really, really good chai tea. Now, if you're making chai tea from scratch, you need like cardamom and all of these different herbs and spices. I have most of them, but I rarely ever have cardamom. So I'm someone who would be fiending like different days for a nice, especially now that it's cold, I be fiending for like a nice yummy cup of chai tea. I used to get it from Dunkin' Donuts, but now they're trash. They don't make it like how I like it. It's always just like blah or just okay. So I be wanting to make it from scratch, and I always forget to pick up the actual spices that I need. Y'all, I was introduced to golden milk. Okay, the closest thing I'm gonna get to making chai tea until I actually make chai tea. And when I tell you, not only it has ginger, like black pepper, not cayenne. I keep wanting to say cayenne, not cayenne. Cinnamon, nutmeg. Like, you can zhuzh it up and do whatever you want. I put like coconut milk and coconut cream. Y'all, oh my gosh. Okay. And I do my best not to consume cow's milk, so I use like almond milk. You can use like hemp milk. Like I said, I put the coconut milk and the coconut cream in it. Listen, best freaking thing. Like, it's so yummy. And not only is it yummy, and not only does it feel like a warm hug to your insides, due to it of course being hot, the pepper and the ginger, like, it just gives you that power in your solar plexus and your sacral chakra. Like, it just warms everything up, and it's fire. Like, fire, fire, fire in a good way. That is the best thing. I be having like 2 to 3 cups back to back. Nice small cups, but nonetheless, I'm having me like 2 to 3 cups at most. I can't wait. I'll probably have that tomorrow if I don't go outside. I'm gonna have it Sunday as well, y'all. So freaking good. If you haven't tried it, try it. It's called like golden milk, and the turmeric and everything. And the reason for adding the pepper is so that it can activate the turmeric. Different herbs are activated by other herbs. Like, case in point, when you're consuming iron, you want to make sure that you have, vitamin C, vitamin D. I think it's vitamin D. So you can get the full benefit of the iron, and so that it can really work within your system and do its job. Y'all gotta try that freaking golden tea. Yeah, y'all gotta try that. Y'all gotta try it. I'm telling you, it's so freaking good. Especially if you're someone who loves chai tea. I feel like that's chai tea's like little brother. Chai tea's little brother. So freaking good. But I am about to get out of here and finish up this day. Today feels like it's going to be a super quick, easy day, which is what I affirmed this morning. Like, just a peaceful, relaxing day while I'm out. It is chilly, but because of the holidays, and I forgot, it didn't dawn on me until early this AM, because I was like, where's everybody at? Like, traffic is not super crazy. Everything is not congested, but I'm like, oh, it's Black Friday. So a lot of people are probably out at those stores waiting to get in if they haven't already, because it's 9:15 now. And just also, they was like, man, fuck that, I'm not going nowhere after the holiday. Even if you're not out not celebrating, but even if you're not out shopping for Black Friday. I know a lot of people was like, I'm not going to work, and it's Friday too. Listen, a lot of these corporations just gotta chalk anytime a holiday is on a Thursday, because Friday people are like, man, I got PTO. Even if I don't got PTO, fuck the people, I'm not going in. And I feel them, but it was just like, damn. But I had planned on getting the rest of like my birthday gifts. I still have birthday gifts to collect, and I still have things to pick up and purchase due to getting like gift cards and stuff like that, and just gifts waiting for me at the stores. And I was thinking about it like, damn, hopefully the stores aren't crowded because of Black Friday. By the time, I get the time to get out and move around, hopefully, things will be clear. However, I don't know about that because a lot of people took off and it is Black Friday. The stores might be packed, but fingers crossed that they're not. Hopefully by the time I get out here, they say, "Oh, she's out here. Let's clear the way for her." Is that the Lulu to think? I don't care. I like thinking the Lulu-ish because anything can happen. Anything can happen. But thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully your holiday, was wonderful. You got to spend time with your family and it was beautiful. Hopefully you guys have a great weekend. You'll be hearing this episode this Saturday, so your Black Friday would have came and gone already. Hopefully you got some great deals. I don't be feeling like it be shit out there. I used to work retail real heavy, and yeah, it just was never giving for me, at least. And it definitely don't be giving now. Like the shit that they be claiming they put on sale and that they have to offer. Listen, no. I just am in search for a new skincare system, some good body care treats, and like I said, collecting the rest of my B-Day gifts. And I'm gonna be out the stores. I ain't doing no crazy shopping, none of that. Y'all can miss me with that. But hopefully you found some good things. Leave in the comments below if you did find some good things and where at. Like, who got the good deals? Yeah, let your girl know in the comments where you found some goodies at. Unfortunately, I am going to go to Sephora. But after this year, I'm going to try out Ulta too. But after this year, we're not fucking with them. Because, I mean, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. I got some points. And see, this is the thing. This is where integrity comes in at. Case in point. I'm not perfect, y'all. I know we shouldn't be fucking with Sephora. You shouldn't be fucking with a lot of these corporations and companies. And, listen, one thing at a time. One thing at a time. I'm on it, though. I'm not making up no excuses. I'm human, and I'm not perfect. But this is a prime example of where integrity comes in at. Like, you're not supposed to be fucking with Sephora. But you gonna go get those goodies anyway. Damn. But thank you guys for tuning in. Each and every day is a new day to do better, to grow, to expand yourself. And before a new day, each moment is a new time, okay? It's never too late to change it up, switch things up, to do better, to be better, to hold and maintain your integrity regardless of what and who tries to threaten it. Just keep that in mind. Like I said, thank you for commenting. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking this video. Thank you for returning. Continue to come back and listen to me. Just be my genuine, authentic self, however I decide to show up, whatever I'm chatting about, because it's not always important. I just be wanting to talk to y'all. And, yeah, thank you for hyping this video up if it's an option for you. After you're done doing all of those things, be sure to love yourself always and always, especially during these times. The holidays can be tricky. And, yeah, take care of yourself and love yourself. Bye, you guys. Until next time. Mwah.